Hello, we made it. It is New Year's Eve, 2025. Tomorrow is 2026. And you know what? I had something planned for today. I shared it yesterday. And I was going to talk more about motivation, New Year's Eve, goal setting, all of those types of things. But I changed my mind. And today is the first day, the announcement, the launch of the Wednesday Lyme Healing Circle. So every Wednesday, we will be live here on YouTube to explain and share and connect over Lyme disease, chronic illness, tick-borne illness, chronic pain, brain fog, joint pain, all of the woes, all of the problems surrounding Lyme disease and co-infections that I've dealt with and that I've helped thousands of other people deal with as well. My name is Ryan Kearns, and I had Lyme disease back in 2016. It was pretty hard for me. When I say pretty hard, I mean it took years, right? It was difficult. It changed the way I view life and health itself. And I ended up getting better over time by using natural and holistic methods, mainly an herbal protocol that I made very affordable and available to everybody over at LymeWars.com. So if you want to check out LymeWars.com, you'll see the exact herbal protocol that I used, and we've made it affordable, easy to get. We'll ship it right to your door so that you can have the herbs you need to get better. Now, the really cool part about these herbs is that they allow you to not only kill Lyme microbes, but also fight back, right? Support the body in all of the areas that Lyme affects. For example, it can cross the blood-brain barrier to protect the brain and stop from further cell penetration. If you don't know this, Lyme microbes like to penetrate cells. It can protect your cells from being penetrated. It can improve circulation, improve immune system response, improve overall gut microbiome. So unlike antibiotics, it actually supports every system in the body while giving you everything you need. So go check out LymeWars.com if you haven't already. I don't want to harp on it too much. I'm not here to sell you. I'm just here to support you. And today, I'm finally launching the Wednesday Lyme Healing Circle. And today, we're talking specifically about New Year's Eve with Lyme disease. Because obviously, today's New Year's Eve, so it's very fitting. And I know how tricky New Year's Eve can be for people who are experiencing chronic illness or Lyme disease. It's hard. It feels like a bunch of pressure. It feels like society wants you to change your habits, wants you to change your daily lifestyle, wants you to strive and shoot for these goals that are out of reach and probably unrealistic and unhelpful for people who are dealing with chronic illness. We're going to talk all about that today and how to approach this. But the first things first, every single Wednesday, we're talking specifically to my people with Lyme disease, the people that I care about the most, the people that I work with on a daily basis, the people that I wake up and think about, how I can serve them, how I can better support them, how I can give them more of what they need and remove things that they don't need, things that are in their way, stopping them from healing. So, we're going to jump right into it because if you're going into the new year with Lyme disease and you already feel tired or behind or overwhelmed by all the new year, new you messaging, that you're in the right place. We're not going to say new year, new you. We're not going to say set big, massive goals that stretch yourself. Now's not the time for that. If you have Lyme disease, 2026 can be a season of healing. And when you're healing, it's not about goal setting. It's not about motivation. It's not about pushing yourself. It's more about being grounded and learning how to live with Lyme disease and, come up against those challenges that it faces with. So give yourself permission to do this differently. You don't have to follow society on this path of creating huge goals or pushing yourself or motivation or any of that stuff. You are allowed to be different. You're allowed to do this differently. All right. So let's breathe one deep breath. And let's get right into what we're sharing today. So again, every Wednesday is the Lyme Healing Circle. We're going to touch on everything in this circle on Wednesdays, from what to eat, what not to eat, what herbs to use, what herbs are helpful, what herbs you might want to look into, and how to improve your sleep, how to remove joint pain or any chronic pain, headaches, brain fog, how to have a clearer mind, how to support your body, how to make sure that you're moving in the right direction, even when things are hard, even when it feels impossible, and even when the world seems to be set up against you. And that's what we're doing every single Wednesday. So join me on Wednesdays so I can support you and we can help each other move through this very difficult process. This is going to be a gentle space for those living with Lyme disease, and today is the New Year's Eve edition. So I've been talking a lot lately about motivation and goals and self-improvement, but I wanted to come back and speak directly to those of you living with Lyme disease, because I know this time of year can bring up a lot. It can bring up hope and fear and grief and exhaustion. And I want you to know, I see you and I haven't forgotten you. Okay? This topic matters deeply to me, and I will never stop showing up for you. So, New Year's Eve is complicated when it comes to chronic illness. There's societal expectations, and then there's reality of what it is living with Lyme disease. And those two things do not mesh. They do not match. But you can want healing and feel exhausted by the idea of another year at the same time. So what this is and what it isn't. This is a grounding, supportive space where we come to share our insights, share the things we're learning. I've talked to thousands of people who have Lyme disease, so I have a ton of information around what people are doing and not doing in order to take back their body. This is permission to go slow, right? We're not going to force our body or push our body into something too quickly, too harsh, too fast, too intense. That doesn't help. That hurts. This is about shared understanding, coming to an agreements about how all of this works, how all of this looks. And this is not medical advice, first of all, right? This is not medical advice. Don't take any of this as medical advice. Always seek a medical practitioner. All of the other legal stuff I'm supposed to say. This is not forced positivity. That's annoying, and it doesn't actually serve anyone to be forcefully positive all the time. We've got to look at life with the lens of reality and make decisions based on what's really going on, not just say, rose-colored glasses, just keep going. And this is not a place to fix yourself. In my opinion, you don't need fixing. You need support. So let's redefine the healing process. And this can look so many different ways, but today we're going to touch on it a little bit. Healing can look like listening to your body, right? That sounds simple or maybe even ethereal or out of reach or not really attainable for some people. It might seem unbelievable, like, what does that even mean? But if you can learn to tune in and listen to what's going on inside of your body through each and every moment of the day, I swear it will help you improve, right? And this is something I learned when I had Lyme disease. I actually learned, this is going to sound insane, probably. As an adult, I used to not know, when I was full from eating. Once I had Lyme disease, I had to start listening to my body in lots of different ways. And just as an example, it's something simple that everybody can grasp and understand. I learned to listen to when I was full. I learned to understand when I was actually full of food and I could stop eating. And I got better at that through this process. And it might have nothing to do with Lyme disease, but the fact that I was constantly checking in with myself and thinking about my body and listening to my body allowed me to start noticing things that I wasn't noticing before. It's allowed me to start seeing like, okay, wait, I'm full. I don't need to keep eating. And I would stop eating instead of continuing like I used to do. And this all happened as an adult. I know it might be a little bit weird for someone who can't relate to that, but that's what happened to me. That's just an example of how listening to your body can change your physical reality. Healing can look like resting without guilt. So many people beat themselves up just because they took a nap or they feel like they're not being productive, right? There's so much pressure around trying to feel productive, trying to feel like you got enough done that day. We want to let go of all that. We want to drop that. We want to be able to rest without guilt, especially when we're healing, when we're trying to get better. It can look like fewer crashes. It can look like emotional healing, not just physical, but also emotional and mental healing. I had to view this thing as the whole holistic picture. And I did learn this the hard way, because when I first got sick, I only thought of this as a physical thing, as physical healing. And I tried to push as hard as I can to get through it as fast as possible. And all that happened is I got way worse. Things got worse. I felt like a shell of myself. I was sleeping like all day long, and then I could not get to sleep at night. And it was like my cortisol levels were unaligned with reality, and all of this other stuff. I could go on and on about the symptoms I experienced, but I don't want to just talk about myself. I do want to connect with you. So if you can relate to any of this, please comment, put it in the chat. Let's talk. This is about connecting with each other, interacting with each other, and growing together. Healing can look like self-trust. Oftentimes people, they lose that confidence. They lose that trust with themselves. They don't think they can do what it takes to get better. And they don't feel like they're going to show up for themselves. And maybe it's because they haven't been in the past, and that stacks up. And over time, if you don't do the things you say you're going to do inside your mind, you start to lose that self-trust. So, let's talk about tonight. You know what? I want to actually throw in a couple extra ones in here. I have a few more that I thought of. So, healing can look like canceling plans. That's a big one, right? That's kind of a scary one, because people want us to go do these plans and these parties and these events and things. And if you're actually advocating for yourself, actually standing up for your body and actually trying to get better, then it's okay to cancel plans sometimes. I'm not saying to cancel everything. I'm saying if you don't feel up to it and you're dealing with something like Lyme disease or chronic illness, it is okay to cancel plans before you go to the plan and then end up crashing and your energy just falls off a cliff. And then the next day you end up way worse, right? You end up having more brain fog, more joint pain, more fatigue, all because you didn't just say, I can't do it tonight, maybe next time. So canceling plans is okay. And maybe that's part of healing too. Advocating for yourself is part of healing. Healing emotionally. We already talked about that. But also like learning your limits. That's one thing that I learned too, is like, I used to just push so hard. It's so wired into people to push and to grow and to strive to become something or to do something with our lives. And sometimes we just need to slow down and give ourselves permission to check out or to relax a little bit and let go of the grip of trying to force things all the time. And stability can become progress, right? Stability is what's valuable, is what's important. It's not all about pushing and striving and motivation and goal setting and trying to do massive things with our lives. There is a time for that. But let me tell you something. When I first found out I had Lyme disease, like I said, I tried to do it the fast way. That doesn't work, or didn't work for me anyway. And then I had to take a step back and go like, all right, I have to go through a season of healing. And the quicker I accepted that fact, the fact that I needed to go through a season, and I say season because seasons end, right? I didn't need to spend the rest of my life only focused on my body. That wouldn't really serve my greater purpose. That wouldn't really help me in the long term. That would be really tricky and difficult. But if I allowed myself to focus on only my body for a season, then I could get back to everything else eventually. But it is difficult. Like I had to really convince myself to do this. I had to really sit with it and be okay with it. The fact that I wasn't striving as hard as I could, the fact that I wasn't getting as much done as I thought I could, I wasn't being as productive as I could be because I was in that healing mode or that healing season. And for me, I did that for about a whole year. Many people do it for more than a year. Some people do it for 3 months or 4 months. Some people do it for 6 months. Everybody is so individual. There is no one size fits all approach. But what I'm telling you is if you can allow yourself to get to the place where you're saying, okay, I'm going into a season of healing and accept that, the faster you accept that, the faster you'll be able to start seeing real progress in your life. And then eventually you'll be past it. And just to round out my story, in case you didn't know, I haven't had any Lyme disease symptoms in about 9 years now. So I got Lyme disease in 2016. By 2017, my symptoms were gone, and it's been 9 years. But these were serious symptoms. It's not like I was like, yeah, I just had Lyme. Like my heart rate was dropping. I had to go to a cardiologist multiple times, get hooked up to a bunch of machines. I had to leave a heart monitor on for multiple days so that they could get a really good reading of my heart. And so I did everything in my power. I changed my habits. I changed a lot of things in my life. And I share all of those things on this YouTube channel. So if you're new here, subscribe, like this video if it's helpful because more people will see it, and just check out some of my other videos because I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been helping people for years now. And I think there's a lot of good information on this channel. At least I try my best. So it'd be really cool if you just went and checked out some of the stuff I created. Let me know what you think. Even if you hate it, I like feedback. It helps us grow. And it helps us become better versions of ourselves. So that's just my little channel plug there. But you have permission tonight to feel tired or emotional or not up to the whole New Year's Eve thing. You have permission to let go of the pressure that society places around New Year's Eve and changing your goals and changing your habits and trying to be all motivational and goal setty and just push, right? You don't need to do it this year. You have permission to let go of that. You have permission to move slowly into the new year. There is no expiration date on January 1st, tomorrow, right? You can move slowly into the year. It is okay to do that. There's nothing forcing you to change everything overnight. Even if you've been preparing for the past 2 weeks to change everything tomorrow, you don't need to do that. You can take it slowly. And in fact, I would argue that taking it slowly ends up working better 9 times out of 10 because you're building a stable system that builds on itself over time, which leads to more sustainability. It leads to lasting longer. It leads to committing to a full year of health instead of just a month, right? As we discussed in past lives, 50% of people quit their New Year's resolution by the end of January. 23% of people quit their New Year's resolution by the first week of January. Okay? And only 9% stick with a New Year's resolution for an entire year. 9%. So it's okay to step back a little bit, move slowly into the new year, build up a system that helps your body, and go from there. You don't need to change everything quickly. And it's okay. You have permission to just be here, to just be present. And allow yourself to experience whatever's going on around you. Maybe you have stuff going on, maybe you don't. But it's okay to just chill, for lack of a better term. To basically just, I'm sure some people tonight, especially the people who have chronic illness, might just sit on their couch, watch some Netflix, Go to bed at a regular time, and then wake up tomorrow and it's a new year, and just go about your day. You don't need to make a big, huge show or a big, huge deal out of New Year's Eve. Now, of course, you can if you want to, but if you're the type of person that's feeling tired or emotional or just feeling behind or feeling fear or grief or exhaustion about all of the stuff that you're going through, give yourself a break. Slow down. It's okay. Rome wasn't built in a day. And finally, you must know and always remember, you are not alone. I'm here for you. I show up every single day to be here for you. Whether that's on YouTube, I post every single day, or it's my emails. You can email me any day. I don't always get back right away. I'm very, very busy, but I am here for you still, and I am thinking about you, and I do want the best for you, and I try to show up and give you everything I possibly can. And if you ask me a question, not only will I try my best to answer it, I will also make a video, or I'll make a blog post, or I'll make something so that I can answer that question for hundreds or thousands of other people, which that means that you asking a question is doing a service for other people, because then they get the answers that they want as well. And I want to thank you for being here and for showing up. There's a lot of people that want to have better health, but they don't show up. They don't go towards the people that can help them have better health. They don't learn about their body. They don't try to become better. So if you're here, that says a lot about you. And I want to give you a round of applause, a pat on the back, all that good stuff, and say thank you for your time, your attention, not on this video, but on yourself. Taking that time and attention to turn inward and think about ourselves is valuable for the rest of the world. Believe it or not, I know it's kind of counterintuitive to think of. It's kind of counterintuitive to say that thinking about ourselves, being a little bit selfish, is helpful for the world. But I truly believe that, because the more people that can show up for themselves, put less pressure on everybody else in their life, put less pressure on the world, and overall become better human beings. And the world always needs more of that. So come as you are. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to try. You can just be. And for being, you deserve to be healthy. You deserve quality time, health, stability, progress, all of it. So I want to give you a few intentions. Let me see if there's any. And of course, whatever doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. I can't be everything to everyone. I'm going to say some things that you may not agree with. I'm going to say some things that you do agree with. So leave what doesn't resonate, take what does resonate, and use it. That's completely fine. I've seen a lot of different types of people creating content, making live videos, making videos on YouTube. And you know what? I don't agree with 100% of what anybody says. There's always things that I slightly disagree with, or I think they could have said it in a better way, or I think it could be repositioned to be a little bit better. But that doesn't mean I throw out everything else. I just take what works and I leave what doesn't work. And I hope you do the same thing as well. But take what supports you. So, I do want to give you a few intentions, not rules, not goals, not a to-do list, just simple ways of thinking that I used myself, that a lot of my clients have used, and that have helped us get better, right? Of the thousands of people that I've worked with that have Lyme disease and co-infections, I would say hundreds of them ended up getting better and send me long emails explaining their whole life story and saying that they're so grateful that they got better and everything. It's amazing to read these things. It's amazing. But here is something that just rings true almost every single time I talk to these people. And it was true for me as well. So I know there's something here. And it's that they have to switch into having these intentions for themselves. And here's some of them that might work for you. One could be, I will stop pushing my body to prove that I'm okay. right? So often we just push and push and push to try and prove we're okay. We might even try, running a 5K or like doing some crazy physical challenge or physical feat so that we can prove that, no, we're healthy. I did this. When I first found out I had Lyme disease, I tried to start running again. I was like, I have to be as healthy as possible. I have to do everything in my power to be healthy. What do healthy people do? They run, right? It was so, to be mean to my past self, I'll say it was dumb. It definitely didn't work. It made me crash hard. It stressed out my body. It stressed out my nervous system. It didn't help. It hurt. And so I had to tell myself, I'm going to stop pushing my body and I'm going to stop trying to prove that I'm okay all the time. I'm just going to let things come to me. I'm going to do things, of course, to try to get better, but I'm not going to do it by forcing myself to do things that are difficult or forcing my body to do things that are really hard. Another one, I will respect my energy even when other people don't. That's a good one, right? So often people don't really, the person that cares about your body the most is you. The person that cares about my body the most is me. Not a doctor, not some, outside source, not my girlfriend, not my kids, not my what, nobody. Me. I care about my body the most. You care about your body the most. You've got to respect your own energy. You've got to really listen to your body. I learned to listen to my body and say, I'm not going to go to that event. It's just going to be a bunch of people drinking alcohol. I don't really feel like drinking alcohol. It's not going to help my health. I'm pretty tired. I check in with myself. Hey, do you think you have the energy to go through this event? To be there with these people for hours? Because if you don't, just say that. Just don't put yourself through that. Respect your own energy, because other people won't. It's not that they don't care about you. Of course people care about you. It's that they don't think about your energy. And even if you say, yeah, I'm really tired, they might not get it. It doesn't clock to people. People don't fully understand what that level of exhaustion feels like when it comes to chronic illness or Lyme disease. So that's why we have to be our own best advocate and respect our own energy. Another one, I will build routines that support my body, and specifically maybe even that support my nervous system. See, I learned through all of this that the key that the nervous system plays, the key part that the nervous system plays in this process of getting better. And so I started things like a meditation practice. Based on the science that we know about meditation, there is a lot to it. There's a lot of benefit to the nervous system, to the brain, to the body, when we just take some time every day to breathe deeply. And so that's just one example of something you could do. There's also like breath work. There's getting sunlight in the morning, going for walks in nature. There's all types of things we can do to try to support our nervous system. But we've got to build routines that do these things, that support our body. Not ask more of our body all the time, right? And so much of the world is structured that way. People structure things by saying like, I'm going to start going to the gym. Okay. Well, if you have chronic illness, stressing out your body in the gym every day isn't necessarily going to help you heal. While I do believe that movement has a place in a healing process, I don't think the gym is necessarily the place to do it. And I also don't think that pushing our body, it's really easy to go to the gym and push your body too hard. You see all the other people around you, what they're doing, the types of exercises they're doing, pushing themselves, trying harder, sweating, ripping their muscles apart. And it's very easy to fall into that trap with those people. And, I've been there. That hit home for me. So I'm just sharing. Another good intention could be I'll let go of timelines. There is no strict timeline for Lyme disease or chronic illness. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own timeline. And, they change all over the place. I've seen people get better, then get worse, then get better again, then get worse. And, sometimes they feel okay, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people are just in a loop of managing chronic illness, managing Lyme disease symptoms. And they never fully go away, but they can have days that are really good, and they can continue trying to have more and more good days. So that idea of a timeline really just holds us back. It really just hurts us in this scenario, where timelines work for so many other people. They work for so many other habits, so many other ideas, and so many other things that we want to do, right? For example, if you want to have a good career, you want to have a good, let's just stick with that example. For a career, having a timeline, like I need to have this many resumes submitted by this day. That timeline is going to be helpful. It's going to push you forward. It's going to allow you to get more done. It's going to allow you to be more productive and move towards the things that you want. But when it comes to our health, and specifically chronic illness and difficult health cases like the ones we're dealing with here, having a timeline saying I have to have this certain thing happen by this certain day really doesn't help. It adds unnecessary pressure. It adds unnecessary anxiety, nervous system pressure. It doesn't help. It hurts. And finally, I'll give you one more. And just remember, these are invitations, not rules, not a checklist. You don't have to do all of these things. You don't even have to do any of these things. I'm just sharing what's worked for me and the people that I work with. And hopefully they work for you as well. They help you, and you can take them and leave them, use them how you will. But this is another one that I personally used, and that I think some of my clients used as well. I will treat rest as part of healing, not a failure. It's easy to beat ourselves up over rest if we feel like we're not being productive, whatever that means. And the whole world is kind of structured like that to support people to be more productive, give more value to the world, be more productive, do more stuff for the world, do more stuff for your friends and your family and the people in your life. Show up more, push more, try more. That's how the world is kind of set up. And so when we rest, there's sometimes this guilt associated with that rest. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need that guilt, and you have full permission to rest and not feel that guilt or like you're a failure for resting. So having these intentions with yourself. And the reason I start these sentences with I is because these are intentions that I had with myself, right? I would tell myself, I'm going to stop pushing my body to prove that I'm okay. I'm going to respect my energy even when others don't. I'm going to build routines that support my body. I'm going to let go of timelines, and I'm going to treat rest as part of healing, not a failure. So hopefully one or more of those can be an intention that you use yourself now and into 2026 as you get ready for the new year. And again, take it slow. You don't have to change everything overnight. You can rebuild over time. And to close this out, you have permission to grieve the year that you didn't get. You have permission to feel behind. You have permission to not feel excited about the new year. It's okay if you don't feel excited. See, I'm not sick right now. I do feel excited about the year ahead, but that's just me. It is completely okay if you don't feel excited or like you're going to go get after it. In fact, I would say you probably shouldn't go get after it if you're trying to get better. You have permission to rest even more than you planned on resting in 2026. So hopefully some of this resonates with you. You don't need to hustle. You don't need to set huge lofty goals. You don't need to push and pressure yourself or have motivation or anything like that in the new year. If you're dealing with Lyme disease and chronic illness, you can take it slow. You don't need to rush, okay? Healing doesn't expire, and this year doesn't need to be about becoming someone new if you don't want to. It can be about protecting the person that you already are. You're not late. You're not broken. you're healing. So I hope some of this resonates with you. And now I'm going to take this question that I have over here. Ernest, do you think heading out for a drink is okay sometimes? I think it's individual. If you're talking in terms of health and the science around what is healthy for your body, unfortunately, the answer is no. Every single time you drink, you're poisoning your liver, your brain, your body. Literally, you are. I know that people don't like to hear that. I know that it's not awesome to talk about. I know sometimes I even get hate on the internet for saying this about drinking, but that is the fact around the data that we've seen for drinking alcohol and health. And so I've given it up. I haven't had a drink in a year now. I plan on continuing that for as long as I need to. And I'm not against it heavily for myself. I just don't really care too much about it. And I just continue moving forward without needing it, and that's fine. But some people do like to drink, and it helps them relax. It helps them, connect with people. It helps them, it's, as they say, a social lubricant. But what I've learned from stopping drinking is that the less I use that social lubricant, the better I get at being social naturally without the added help, right? If we're using it as a crutch all the time, we're not really growing. We're just using a crutch. We're using a helper. And the minute we don't have it, we feel awkward and out of place. And so the more that I don't drink and still go and have fun with my friends, the better I get at being social and being healthy and happy. That's my 2 cents. That's my opinion. And since you said, do you think heading out for a drink is okay sometimes? My answer is no, I don't think it's okay sometimes. But for you, if you're an adult, you make your own decisions, right? You show up for yourself. You decide what you do. And so it's totally up to you. I hope this message resonates with you, and I hope you have an amazing New Year's Eve. And tomorrow is a brand new year. I hope you're excited, or you don't even need to be excited, as I already said before. If you're not excited, that's completely normal as well. You have permission to be what you are. It's okay. In 2026, you can heal your body. You can take back your body and feel like yourself again. I know you can do it because I've seen people do it over and over and over again. And so I'm here to support you every step of the way. I will be here all 2026. You can count on that. You can count on me. And I'll see you tomorrow in 2026 at 12 p.m. Eastern Time every day, right here on this live. Thank you so much.